All right, my friends, and we are live again on Notes from the Edge. Welcome in. Today, we're going to be talking about the things that people don't talk about, but we should be. We're going to be having the conversations we should have been having all along that would have helped us. The conversations where we go, well, damn, I wish I had known that 20 years ago. We're going to be talking about alignment and business and why that's so important. And today we have special guest Ginny Trask, whose journey has taken her from helping build multi-million dollar businesses to teaching leaders to how to create businesses rooted in alignment rather than compromise. Because my friends, when we start compromising, we lose self-trust, we abandon ourselves, and we lose self-respect. So together, she explores why high achievers feel exhausted. Oh, despite the six-figure income, I'm still tired. Solving problems that can become a calling, a purpose, a meaning. So, Ginny, welcome in. I'm so excited about having this convo and having you here today. How are you?
Thank you. Oh, I'm amazing. Even our pre-call has me all jazzed up. Like, guys, we were geeking out. We were totally geeking out before we went live. You guys missed it. I'm sorry. It was great. It was great.
It was a pre-podcast.
We had a whole pre-podcast.
It was a pre-podcast. By the way, listeners, thank you so much for what you guys have done for this podcast in the past 30 days, because last week we ranked number 231 in Canada. And just today, I got notice that we are ranked 214 in personal journals in the United States in under a month. So we are apparently having the conversations that you guys have been very, very hungry for. And for that, I am very thankful. Oh, I almost feel like I'm going to get teared up because, guys, you know the story. The earlier this year, I almost died from my blood disease and had a come to myself moment. I turned 50 after I got out of the hospital, and I was like, listen, Ginny. So I got out of the hospital and I turned 50. We had big plans, big party plan. I told everybody to fuck off. I was going off to the mountains by myself. I took my 21-year-old Italian Greyhound that I've had since he was 3 months old. It was just me and him. And I got there on a Monday, and I turned 50 on Wednesday. And I had the most beautiful cabin with the most beautiful view. And I'm looking at the sun going over the mountains, and I'm crying and I'm just grieving. And I'm going, what am I doing with my life? And I immediately looked down at my little dog. And I was like, this little dog has witnessed a life, 21 years, a life
That's a long time.
Yeah.
For a
And he's still kicking it, especially an Italian Greyhound, because their breed is usually about 10 to 12 years because they're purebreds. But I pivoted immediately, and my memoir was written within 3 weeks. Now we're still editing it, but Notes from a Certified Madwoman came because my little dog, this soul dog, told me, Lisa, you can't leave with these stories locked inside of you.
Yeah.
I didn't want to transition with these stories locked inside of me. So the memoir is a testimony about the psychiatric arena and the experience, and I want some reform there. But let's talk about six-figure businesses and getting aligned. Speaking of alignment, see, I was not in alignment, and I knew it, and I wanted to be, because you guys, that's what brings purpose and meaning. Talk to me about when you discovered that. So we open up here with your origin story. How did you end up doing the work that you do right now?
Yeah. So I wound up doing the work that I do now because I literally found out that I was running a business that was doing $5 million a year in business, but was definitely not aligned, was grown out of my wounding, and was reinforcing my wounding on a daily basis. And I basically threw it in the trash.
Wow, that's brave.
I was like, literally at the time that I ended that business, I had people beating down my door to pay me to continue it, to do it, to just please keep going. We need you. We need you.
Oh no, you had people begging you? That's even harder.
I did. They were begging me. And I was like, and they literally, I had people like, okay, well, how much do we have to pay you? And I was like, I don't think that there's an amount of money that you can pay me to make me continue in this business in this way.
Talk to us
because
about why. What was it
yeah.
doing to you and not for you?
So I have my childhood wounding centers a lot around abandonment. Okay. I have some mother wounding, some abandonment wounding. And so what happens there, right, is a lot of times as a coping mechanism, the people pleaser emerges.
Mm.
And so I was a huge people pleaser as a kid. And because my mother was a drug addict. My stepmother who raised me was doing the absolute dead level best that she could, but she struggles with extreme mental illness.
Mm.
So every day of my life was like this huge roller coaster of emotions. And it's a little bit different for anyone out there that has lived with a parent that's mentally ill. Now, a lot of times drinking or things like that are, it's a coping mechanism for them to self-medicate for mental illness, but she didn't drink or anything. So the challenge is when you have like an alcoholic parent, you can like count the beer bottles until you know that like something bad is going to happen.
Yes.
Not with a mentally ill parent. We just would wake up to screaming,
not knowing what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. Not knowing what you're gonna get. And so, and it wasn't just her. Okay. It's not all on her. I just came from everywhere in my life. There was just extreme emotional volatility. And as a result of that, I was that person who could absolutely feel that the emotion was about to shift. Not that it had shifted yet, but that it was about to shift, and I would start fixing it.
Right? Hyper focused.
I was hyper vigilant, right? Very hyper vigilant about other people's emotions and how they were feeling. So fast forward, and what does that look like in terms of if I was going to create the perfect business for a person who was trying to heal those wounds by essentially reliving them, I would pick the travel business. I've actually seen some interesting TikToks and different videos about the event business and the travel business and how it mirrors for a lot of people the self-abandonment that they performed when they were younger, because now not all travel businesses, okay, it was specifically the business that I built. We were doing $5 million a year in business. We were operating around 150 trips a year, so that's 3 trips a week. And all of our trips, I wouldn't even look at a trip if it didn't have at least 100 rooms on it, so that's 200 people. So we were traveling tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of
that's
people.
Running a lot of stuff, girl.
Yep.
Ooh.
And so I don't know if you've ever traveled, but was it perfect? Did you have
Never. That one time I've traveled the world, and something always went off.
Exactly.
There's always something to take care of. Yeah.
So people are, when they travel, tend to be more on edge because they're outside of their comfort zone. They're sometimes
their expectations are high, especially
expectations are high. Right. So emotions are high.
Yeah.
And every single day I would have somebody having some kind of problem somewhere.
Oh Lord, there was a meltdown every day?
It was a daily meltdown, but that's what I was used to. I was used to daily meltdowns. As a matter of fact, I was used to on average, about 6 to 10 meltdowns a day. That was what was normal for me.
People please, what we end up doing is metabolizing into our body to co-regulate those people.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly. That's exactly it.
It can make us physically sick.
That's exactly it. And so no wonder that I could not, it didn't matter if I took time off or I could get rid of my phone for a week and go on vacation and give my phone to my general manager, and I had a very competent team. They could manage everything. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter because I was stuck in this trauma loop that I had recreated in my business. And why did I do that? So this is the piece that I really want people to be able to latch onto. I created this as a business because I was told that I was good at it. You're so good with people. You're just so great with people. You just always have this ability to make magic happen. I mean, girl, I've been making magic happen since I was a kid because that's how
that's how we survived, man.
Right? That's how I survived. And so I was that creator of the magic and the light, and I kept everybody in the light all the time.
For everybody.
what a perfect
Ugh.
place for me to go and create light for people in their vacations. But yeah, it was definitely rooted
Sounds fun
in
on the
wounding.
surface. It
Yeah.
sounds fun on
No.
the surface. Yeah.
Not for someone like me. Now, there's people out there that they can run these businesses, no problem. But for
Yeah.
me, this business was a problem. Now, I do still own the business, but I run it in a very different way. It
Interesting.
doesn't make, I don't do $5 million a year in revenue with it anymore. I do a few $100,000. It looks completely different. I no longer client face at all in the business.
Nice.
I no longer deal with the meltdowns ever. I never
Nice.
have to deal with a meltdown.
Good.
And so that's the way that I could continue that business. But I've also really, for the most part, let most of it go because it's not in alignment.
Yeah.
And the thing that I work with people on to really understand is, if you've ever read the book The Big Leap or by Gay Hendricks, there's this pyramid of, right, at the very top is your zone of genius.
Mhm.
In the middle is your zone of excellence, and at the bottom is your zone of competence. Now, I take his concepts a little further, and I'm here to tell you that the things that are in your zone of excellence, we actually need to take a really hard look at those, and we need to divide them into two buckets. One is things that, yes, we are actually excellent at. The other bucket that shows up in zone of excellence is coping mechanisms that we have been taught are talents.
Yep. For survival.
Yes.
And competence can become camouflage.
Exactly. Yes. And so it's very, very common for us to grow up believing that a coping mechanism that we're being praised for doing, we're being praised for doing those coping mechanisms, and we grow up believing that we're talented at that thing. And
that's our identity, and it becomes, quote, who we are.
Right.
Not what we did to survive. Yes, girl, I'm on it. I'm tracking.
Exactly.
I'm tracking.
And I encourage, if anybody has tuned into this and felt like a big body yes during the talk, I really encourage you to take a look at, and the way you can do it is you can just feel into the tasks that you're doing on a daily basis. You can make a list of what's everything that I do, in my business, and put yourself into the feeling of doing it, and how does it feel in your body?
Yeah.
Are you tensing up? Is your body clenching while you're doing that task? Now,
are you nauseous? Is it making you sick to your stomach?
Right. Are you dreading it? And listen, I have owned or operated 6 multi-million-dollar companies. I'm from a family of entrepreneurs. Okay. There are things in business that we do have to do that we don't want to do. I'm not over here to tell you that because you don't like to reconcile your bank account, that your bank account is a problem. Okay. That's not what we're talking about. Okay. That's not what we're talking about.
I don't like that part.
You still have to reconcile your bank account. I'm sorry. Well, or hire somebody to do it for you.
Delegate.
That's right. Delegate, have somebody do that for you. But you do need to mind your money. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just a really interesting exercise to look at. The other piece of it is, so often we discount that zone of genius. The thing that is ordinary to you is magic to someone else.
Talk about that.
Right? That thing that is ordinary to you, that it comes so naturally to you
that you take it for granted.
You take it for granted because what are we taught? Work hard and good things will happen. Work hard so you can play hard. But do you notice that the words work and hard, like they go together a lot?
Yeah. Why do we want to do that? Yes. It does not make any sense.
And on a subconscious level, what it tells us is that if it's hard,
we're doing it right.
If it's not right, if it's not hard, I can't get paid for it. That is
girl. Say that again. Say that again.
We really believe that if it's not hard, we can't get paid for it. Boom. And that is absolutely not true. Not true.
And that's where the undervaluing comes in. Yeah.
Yes.
Or the free services.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And when we shift to the alignment piece, an exercise that I love to do for people, and I'm actually going to write to my assistant and see if I can get this link for you guys.
Yay.
Is the I'll just ask her if we can get the lead magnet for this, because I would actually really like to share this with your audience.
That would be fantastic.
Let me just ask her. We're live. I don't care. Hi, this is what happens on live stuff. Can you send me the lead magnet via email to Lisa Lacy for connecting to your magic?
Oh, I love that.
So I do this thing with people called connecting to your magic. And I can take you guys through it really quickly if you want.
Yeah, let's play.
I want you to have the lead magnet. I want you guys to have the link so you can get the longer version, because I'm going to do a short version here. Okay. So because I don't want to create problems that don't have solutions. So the problem that we've just created is that you might be thinking, oh crap, there might be some trauma in my business somewhere. Because we've just learned today suddenly that, by the way, it doesn't just, we always are taught that trauma shows up in our, or abuse or any of those things show up in our love relationships. We're not taught that they show up in our business, but trust and believe they show up in your business.
We are not taught that. No, ma'am.
We are never taught that. It's like, well, if you're
think about it, how much time do we spend doing it?
It's your whole life.
Yeah.
Most of us.
I'm kind of blown away right now. I actually never thought about that. But
we don't learn
when
that.
I was doing heavy duty trauma coaching, not my jam, man. Not my jam. That's why I had to change everything that I was doing, because it was just bringing me down. It was just
you were doing that thing where
I was absorbing it.
You were absorbing it because that's what we do, is we absorb it so that they can feel better. Right. Yep. I mean, that's
I feel so much lighter. And I'm like, I feel exhausted.
Yeah. You learned that in childhood as a coping mechanism to calm down the people around you, is that you would just absorb it. And same thing when I would perform customer service. Now, I also had in my travel business a 100% client retention rate. That's actually not good. Okay. Because the level of self-abandonment that I performed in order to reach that is what got me that number.
Because sometimes you have to fire clients.
Yep, yeah. Sure do. I fired all of them, every single one. My business today, my travel business today, not a single one. I don't have a single client that I had before 2022. Not a single one. All of the clients that I have now in that business are different, with the exception of some that I have from 2004. Those guys are different. That was a different iteration of business. Okay, so to rewind and do the exercise.
Okay,
I've created a problem. The problem that I've created for you is that you're like, oh no, maybe this is true. Maybe I have created some parts of my business out of trauma. Maybe my wounding is showing up in my business. Maybe these things that I thought were talents are actually coping mechanisms. And now, well, crap, now what do I do? So here's what we're going to do next.
All right.
We're going to connect to that magic. So I invite you guys you can close your eyes. You can put your feet on the floor or feel the chair beneath you. And I'm a big fan of being in the body. Okay. So we don't want to really be in the mind. We want to be in the body, and we want to really feel the floor. Really feel the chair. And we can just take a couple of deep breaths. And you guys are going to get the longer version of this meditation in the link. And we really want to press the breath all the way out on the exhale to stimulate the vagus nerve. So we're going to breathe in for a count of 6, breathe out for a count of 6. No holding the breath, and just allow the breath to really be pressed out on the exhale. And now again, I want you to really feel the support of the chair, the surface that you're sitting on. You are so supported. That's why you're here today. Lisa supports you with her beautiful guests and her amazing show. I'm here to support you today with this meditation and the things you're learning. You are so supported. So feel that physical manifestation of the support through the chair. And just breathe into what that feels like to just be held by the surface that you're sitting on, to be held in support. And now I just want you to think back to a place that was a happy place for either your childhood or your early adulthood. There are people who didn't have a happy place in their childhood, and that's okay. I just want you to think back to that happy place. And I want you to activate that little childhood dreamer or that young adult dreamer. And I want you to think through, what was there ever a time that you thought, I might be magic? Like, I'm really good at this. I am really great at this thing. As a child or a young adult, you're thinking, man, this is really great and it jazzes me up and I like it. And I wonder if I can do this as an adult. Can I make money at this? And that's the thing that I want you to get to. And sometimes it takes several tries. So we're just going to come back into the room now. Just feel your feet, feel your body, and just come back into the room and open your eyes. That's the magic that we're going to ask you to connect with. Mine is, as a child, I was so able to reflect back to other people their greatness. And I get paid to do that now.
That's a gift.
I have a program called Momentum where we introduce business owners to 2 podcasts a week to help them get visibility and leads. And the real work that I do in the program is to help you see your greatness and your magic. For a lot of folks out there, they struggle. They really struggle to read the label on their jar of magic because you're inside the jar. Yeah. You can't read the label from inside the jar.
You can't see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when I'm in alignment with that, when every day I am meeting with clients, meeting with prospects, and just being in that reflection of their greatness, that's my genius. And it lights me up and it makes me excited. I just had a meeting with a prospect right before this, and we got so jazzed because I can totally see like how this is going to work for him. And that is my magic. But I mean, did I think that I could just get paid to just be a mirror to everybody? No, I didn't think that was something that people got paid to do.
There's always a way.
There is. There's always a way.
Sometimes you just have to get really, really creative. And I think we lose some of that as adults too, if we've had it rough. And I think we lose our willingness to imagine, oh crap, things can actually work out for me. And I can actually do something that does light me up and brings me joy and lights other people up too. You know?
Yes.
That was that moment in the mountains. I was like, I am doing some things that are not bringing me joy. Mm-hmm. So they need to end right now. And everything was kind of topsy-turvied. And it's been in alignment and stuff is just falling into place. Boom, 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 boom. Because that's what happens.
I mean, it's happening. Look at you.
Yeah.
Your podcast is skyrocketing.
Yes.
It's skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And that's in a month because you're in alignment.
Yes.
Guys,
I am good at this. I can talk to people about their passions that help people all day long. Like this is a gift. This is a gift.
It is a gift. And people are enjoying your gift.
Oh, they're having so much fun.
People are loving you for your gift, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And stages, speaking on stages, you know, I gave up my performing career because I went backpacking in Alaska for 6 months and we stayed in tents a lot and I came back knocked up. I went with a friend, came back knocked up. And so I had a choice to make and I was already involved in corporate, had been for 4 years at that point. since I was 21. And, but I had just signed with the top agent in Atlanta for acting because I went to school for theater performance and storytelling. And,
Mhm.
and I chose corporate because I had a kid to support, right?
Yeah.
So now what I'm doing, the stages that I'm
Mhm.
working with
Yeah.
is me using all of those skills, the
Oh, yeah.
storytelling skills and the performance and all of
Absolutely.
it. So it's
Yeah.
all those pieces of me, the speaking at all the corporate gigs. It's all
Mhm.
paying off.
It
So
does.
if you guys are out there and you're feeling stuck right now, I promise you there is a way towards change, but
Mhm.
I would highly encourage you. Here was the change for me. And I did it all. Look, after my mental health psychosis, if there's an acronym to some kind of clinical therapy thing, I did it. I spent about a couple $100,000 on it. DBT, CBT, neurofeedback, ART, EMDR. If there's an acronym, I did it. And I was still waking up like crap. I don't know if I'm liking this.
Yeah.
And it was transformational coach that
Mhm.
really moved me forward.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about coaches, because our focus is getting you the forward momentum. If
Yeah.
you need the backwards look, go to a talk therapist, figure out what happened to you, but do not stay in victim mode mentality for years like I did. Do not stay in blame mode. What Jenny was talking about, she was talking about explanations for things that happened to her, not excuses for things that
Mhm.
happened to her. And I stayed in the anger and the blame game and victim mentality entirely too long, but it was a transformational coach that got me out of it. And the thing is we work fast with
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
This work does not have to be a trudge, and it does not have to take years. Now, of course, growing your business will take years, but you feeling better and aligned does not have to. And I
Agree.
use the
Totally
word
agree.
in my work, resonance is the word I use. Getting people to resonance is the end goal. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that word. I love that word of resonance. And that's why in my, and I think I think resonance is a great word. I love that you address that it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
I have had businesses that hit $1 million in like 6 months. Okay. But let me
Yes. It
explain this,
happens.
guys. It does happen, but I've had many more that didn't.
Yeah.
Just because I've owned and operated 6 multi-million-dollar companies, I've had plenty that never got to those numbers. It's much
See, and
easier.
people don't see that
Yeah.
part. The
Yeah.
miss the marks,
Yeah.
right? I had a guest, we were talking about failures not being failures, but like the
Yeah.
word sin actually means miss the mark.
Mhm.
So they're not failures, they're just you missing the mark. And if you're
Yeah.
shooting a bow and arrow and you miss the mark, you just do it again
Right. You just
and again
adjust.
and again and again. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Until you get it
And
right.
and you're learning and you learn, right? If you shoot the
Yep.
arrow in the wrong place, you learn and you
Yep.
adjust. And so then now that's ingrained in you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I my most successful business took 5 years to build. My most monetarily, my most, the biggest with the biggest, number of zeros on the end of every single month and year. It
Yeah.
took me 5 years to build that business.
Yeah.
This is not a
But
sprint
you were
to $1
in
million.
alignment. If you're in alignment the whole time, you're not going to be dreading it.
Oh no. And then
You're
actually,
gonna do.
so I'm earning more money now. So by the way, guys, just because so it's a lot easier to hit $1 million when you have more zeros on the end of your product. So
Yeah.
if there's more zeros on the end of your product, it's much easier to make $1 million. So at the time, I was doing charter bus transportation. Okay. Even back then in the early 2000s, every bus was $1,000. Every single bus that if we rolled a bus, if its wheels were rolling, it was making at least $1,000.
Nice.
That's on a daily basis. We're running 10, 20, 50 buses a day. Very easy to hit $1 million. Okay.
Right.
Because there's zeros on the end. Now, here's the problem. The more zeros that are on the end of your product, of your product sale price, typically the more zeros that are on the end of all your costs as well. To operate those buses also cost us about $800.
Oh yeah, it's a car.
Exactly. So anywhere from 4 to 800. So
I love
that
that
in
you are
mind.
not promising people unrealistic
No.
expectations.
As a matter of fact, I'm actually about to teach a class on what I call the minimal sales model, which is because I realized that a lot of business owners don't like sales. You guys didn't know. You didn't know that when you started a business and you were going to bring your light into the world, that meant that you were also going to be a salesperson. You didn't know
and
that.
tech person
Yeah.
and PR person.
Very
and
disappointing.
You're
Very
everybody.
disappointing.
For everybody.
Especially in the coaching world, a lot of folks they really cringe and pull away from sales. And
they really do.
And there's some healing that we can do there. Part of it is the more aligned the business is, the more that the business is in your gifts, the easier it is for you to sell and deliver.
Yeah.
Because you're lit up all the time. You're energized all the time.
You know
that's why that's that goal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this sales model that I'm going to teach, I'm going to be teaching a class on it. So if you guys do wind up connecting with my lead magnet, you'll get the information about this class. It's going to be
good.
Probably like 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay.
And I developed it because I was using it myself and I didn't really realize what I had developed, but I've been using this for a long time. It's a model of revenue that essentially enables you to make like a bare minimum number of sales a month. I have sold high ticket. Okay. I have sold $25,000 programs. I don't like that. And I'm making more money now with this model, and it's consistent and it's stable. This is consistent.
Stability provides safety, so that's good.
Yes. Yeah. So it's funny. I love that you said that because the talk that I'm really giving a lot now is around this piece of safety in business. The ultimate state of business ownership is play. When our business gives the most to the world is when we're in a state of joy and play and fun. And this is just fun. Yeah. Getting new clients is fun. Bringing in the money is fun. We're on yachts. We're doing these things. And you don't have to be on yachts, but when you're in that state of play, that's the ultimate state for business owner. CEOs, when you guys see CEOs on yachts and at sporting events, they are actually doing more for that business on that yacht and at that sporting event than they do sitting in the boardroom.
Yeah.
When we play, we are able to we can innovate. We're being creative. So that's the ultimate state. What we know for a fact is that when people do not feel safe, they do not play. Yeah. My goal is to get you to a place of safety in your business as quickly as possible.
I love that. It's genius. It's genius. And it makes common sense. It's common sense because we don't like uncertainty at all.
We don't. It's now I have an extremely high tolerance for uncertainty, which is why I've been so successful in so many businesses. I started my first business at 16. Yeah. I have a very high tolerance for risk and for uncertainty. The average person does not. And I'm not and none of you should aspire to do that just because me and Lisa are like, yeah, we can do that. We're like that. Please don't aspire to that. It's not a good thing.
Okay? Yeah. My husband's not a jumper. He's not a leaper. Yeah. He's not a leaper.
Well,
because sometimes I leap wrong.
We do. And right, exactly. So my goal is to get you to a place of safety in your business as quickly as possible. And what that means is a lot of us think that if I just have more sales, I will be more, that will create the safety. It's actually leads create sales.
Yeah.
Leads create sales, which is why in my program, we focus on getting visibility so that when you get the leads, they're higher quality leads, right? Because podcasts have great, very high quality leads. Yes. And then making sure that when we are doing these appearances, we are getting this visibility, we're getting leads, because leads are what lays the foundation of safety. If we have enough leads, we can make enough sales.
Yes, the numbers will be there.
They will. It is just a numbers game, as long as you're following up with your leads. And I have a whole philosophy. About following up with your leads. Yeah.
Well, I cannot wait for people to jump into this class. So make sure with the lead magnet that you're going to give us that we have access to the class that's coming up in 4 weeks.
Yeah. If you guys need an easy way to connect with me, like the easiest way ever, and because I say that leads lay the foundation of safety, you guys will get a free video. Greatleadmagnet.com. greatleadmagnet.com, and lead is LEAD, right? Like a lead on a horse, or like you're leading a team. So greatleadmagnet.com. That's just the quickest. If you guys are listening and you're like, I don't want to wait for the show to post, like I need this stuff right now. That's a great way to connect with me, because you're going to get a video on how to make a great lead magnet for podcasts. But I answer all of those the minute that you get my lead magnet, within, unless it's nighttime, within a few minutes, I respond back to you and actually connect with you one-on-one. So, but I am going to give you, Lisa, I will find the connecting to your magic, the longer version of that exercise.
Well, because that's step one.
Yeah, because that's step one.
You got to come in with that, right? So friends, if you win, not if you're miserable in your job right now, do this, just period. All right. Because you don't need to be, because that's a lot of your time. That's another thing that the beginning of the year, I had near-death experiences with my blood disease many times before. I've survived 10 events of massive pulmonary embolisms in both lungs. And one event takes people out. One clot takes people out 30 to 50% of the time.
Wow.
Doctors are looking at me like, yeah, I'm like a cockroach. That's what they call me around here, is a cockroach. I'm not going anywhere because I'm not done. I'm not done, you guys. Right. But if you are looking around and you're going, I am not happy doing this 8-10 hours a day. That is so much of our time. And our time is a precious resource. Our energy is a privilege. And guess what? Not everybody gets access to it. So if you are in a situation where you are giving up your precious energy even to people that are not reciprocal in it, you're not getting what you're giving, then do the meditation. And then when you decide, oh, wow, there's some stuff here. What I love about Jenny is she's not only going to help you with your business, but it sounds like she's going to help you kind of get through some of that crap, that stickiness, that stuff that's still stuck on there, so it can come off your business, right? Because you don't want a sticky business. You want it to flow.
Yes.
You want it to flow. Yeah.
We do. We want that flow. Yeah. It's funny. You talk about like being a transformational coach, and really that's what happens when people work with you. I say that I reflect your magic back to you. The other piece that happens that I have a hard time putting into words is everyone has a heart opening that gets around. You can be around me for a day and you'll have what's called a heart opening.
Yeah.
All of a sudden your heart gets 10 times bigger, like in the Grinch, That's Stole Christmas. And something clicks for you. For some people, it's that they attract their life partner. For some, it is a repeatable.
Their house
thing.
Comes, their car comes.
It is a repeatable
the relationship comes. Yes, girl.
Something comes into focus for them every time.
When love it.
Meet me, some kind of magic happens. I can't explain it, but it happens in them. It's not me. It's you. I think it's
they're doing the work, right?
They're doing the work. And you still have to accept the thing. Listen, I've sent plenty of people have found their soulmate after meeting me. Doesn't mean that they went with it. You still got to say yes. You still got to go with it. I've created beautiful,
I just introduced, anyway, they're dating now. They're like, you should start a dating site. I said, don't give me any more ideas.
Right.
I'll have one up tomorrow.
Right. Girl, me too. Do you know I'm curious how I own I think 97 domains.
Oh my God, I've got so many, girl.
Yeah, it's so many. This is how we are, right?
Email addresses is my thing. I've got so many email accounts.
Oh no.
Oh,
no. Mine is domains. I have probably I think it's 97 domains, and I almost bought 4 domains yesterday.
My website guy, he was like, "What are we doing with these?" I was like, "Okay, we're done with those."
Yeah, and some of them I get rid of. But
actually, but I'm not scared to try something on.
That's right. Try it on.
Yeah.
Guys, we have to try it on to see how it feels. I'm not a cookie cutter coach. So when I help my clients with their stories and with the talk that they're going to give on the podcast, I'm like, absolutely tell me if this doesn't feel good. If you don't like the way that this feels to say, especially the way it feels to say it, I need you to tell me. I'm not in your body, so I don't know how it feels. You have to tell me if it doesn't feel good, because we cannot be out there telling stories that don't feel good or using words that don't feel good. I like to use aligned wording. That's why it's called the Aligned Speaker Academy. I like to use aligned wording. I like to use, wording that is powerful for you. So just because I'm the coach doesn't mean that I'm right. Like I'm giving suggestions based on my experience.
We're the guide. We're just the guide. You got to give us
you have to give us feedback
we need
so that we can.
Oh my God, Jenny, you and I could talk for hours. Girl, we're at 40 minutes right now. We gotta start. Look, this was great.
All right, wrap this up.
You're gonna give us a lead magnet.
Yes.
People are gonna do the meditation. They're going to take look, guys, sometimes it takes that brutally honest. Remember, we talk about brutal honesty in this space a lot, that excavation of yourself to be honest, because for 20 years, I was making 6 figures in corporate and I was slowly unraveling behind the scenes and nobody knew it. Nobody knew it, so much so that when I came forward, they were like, no way. I was like, yeah, it's been really miserable behind the scenes. But I had the polished Facebook picture, so everything looked fine.
There you go.
Yeah, don't live that life anymore. You don't have to. So she's going to give us everything she needs. You need. She's teaching a class. Sounds like a fabulous class. Jump in it. If you're feeling stuck, we're going to give you everything you need to find her, and she's going to help guide you into alignment, into resonance, because when you are congruent in who you are in all arenas, it builds your self-respect, it builds your confidence, it builds your self-esteem. You're no longer abandoning yourself, and that's how you run a business that, listen, I've run businesses that made money, but they were killing me, right? Now I am having so much fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah, see, you're in that state of play.
Yes, state of play. More play. We need more play. So if you're not in a state of play, reach out to Jenny. All right, my friend. Okay, let me see if I missed anything, because I just want to make sure. I know we went off. We were in a rabbit hole. That's what happens. Alignment isn't. So your brand. I wanted to ask this. This is important. Your brand is called Aligned Business. That's a very popular word right now. A lot of people use it, but it means different things to different people. So wrap us up with how you define alignment. How do you know somebody has drifted away from it? How do you define alignment? Because that's an important word. It's the name of your business.
It is. It's the name of that, but it's the name of my podcast. It's the name of a lot of things in my life. To me, it is that energetic feeling of when you feel grounded, centered, and you have that full body. Yes, ooh, this is right.
Yeah.
Not I'm right, not they're right. This is right.
I love it. Simple, very simple. All right, girl, we asked 2 questions to close out. The first one is, what did you perform in order to survive? And what did dropping that role, mask, or identity do to help you? First question. Go for it.
People pleasing.
I knew you were going to say that.
I still struggle with it, but I've gotten a lot better.
I call myself a recovering people pleaser.
Yes. Yeah. And what it provided is I really do I am much more calm now than I ever used to be. Like, just on an emotional level, I'm much more peaceful.
I love that. All right. Last question. What conversation do you wish people were having more of? What do we need to be talking about more of?
Yeah. I think we need to be talking about trauma showing up in business more. I really do.
I agree with
think
you.
This is affecting a lot of, and guys, it's not just business, it's also your job. Like, if you have a job out there, too. We attract to ourselves roles that keep us stuck in trauma loops. I think we need to be talking about how trauma shows up in businesses and in the workplace a lot.
That's more. A whole talk, girl. I love it. All right, guys. Well, listen, this has been fabulous. Jenny, thank you so much. We're going to give you everything you need to reach out to her. Please do it, guys. Don't stay stuck. Change is possible, but sometimes you just need one other person to come in, support you, show you a new perspective. You might be looking right. We come in and say, hey, no, look over here. Look over here, right? Or is that left, right? I don't know. You're looking in the wrong direction if you're feeling stuck. Look a different way. All right, my friends, thank you so much. Peace, much love, be well, be wise. Always ask the question, what are you performing in order to survive? Is it still serving you? If it's not, how are you going to feel when you finally let it go?
Mhm.
All right. Welcome to the edge, my friends. Be well. We'll see you next time.